wanted to make sure that
So
this
while
is all
they're
good
doing
to go.
this, can you guys just introduce yourselves and explain why you wanted to do mentorship? I want to, anyone start?
I'm going first. I'm Mel Harmon. I teach cosmetology for the high school program through Consumer Skills Center. And I want the I feel like when I started out, it was just being thrown in the deep end and I was super sucked and I had to figure a lot of stuff out on my own. And now that I've been here for a few years and I've been told I'm decent at my job.
She's
I can offer that to new people that may be struggling.
That is a really great reason, like to be the person, the guidance that you wanted.
And I remember it being thrown.
Yes.
Yeah, and literally Michelle was like on my interview. It was like, it's gonna be like being thrown into deep into the pool.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out though. It's like, thanks.
Okay.
Super helpful.
All right, next.
All right, I'm Christopher Saucedo, instructor for construction, and yes, similar thing. Like nobody taught me anything when I got here. Definitely from the deep end, and I also felt like there's still a lot I don't know, so might as well learn and teach it at the same time. Right.
Well, they say the best way to learn it is to teach it.
That's right.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the great part is like if you're teaching your students, you just pretend like you knew it all along.
Yes,
that's right.
Or you'd be like, does anybody know this?
Yeah. How would you answer this?
Yeah.
You slip into the Socratic method and make it seem like you know the answer. Yes.
My name is Linda Felch, and I am an instructor in early care and education. And I've been here 33 years, so I know where the bodies are buried. Also,
Resource.
My job is teaching teachers how to teach. And so I feel like I have and we have a mentoring program that we teach our students as to how they mentor other teachers in the field as well. So that kind of spoke to me. And it's something that we've done through Train the Trainer series and teaching adults. There are some really strong commonalities between toddlers and students that are supposed to be theoretically adult. So there's a lot of that aspect. I just felt like, and about 15 years ago, were you here when they had the other meeting?
I was. I was a mentee.
Yeah. So was I.
Not great.
Well, I came after that, and I had a similar experience that Mel was talking about, that Christopher was talking about. So
I had a
came after that.
colleague who was my work husband for 20 years, and I shared an office with him. And our kids grew up together, and he was a lovely man, and he mentored me without ever me asking him to, because there were days when I was clearly in the weeds, and he would say, let's talk about this, and he would help me. But then when they assigned me that mentor, they assigned me someone whose first words to me were, I don't teach babysitting. You're on your knees.
So what you want to give the person that you mentor is respect.
Yes.
Because you've had both sides of that coin, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm Suzanne Cook. I teach the accounting program. I definitely not care about the videos, but I have been here for 15 years, but I still feel like I'm a little lost in the weeds. I'm like Chris on that, and I'm also in the same boat here. I feel like, unfortunately, our college does not nurture that or foster that good environment for employees, and I want to be part of the change on that. So if I don't know it, I just make sure I wrote down everybody 30 years over here, because as you guys know, I don't know, maybe not know, my counterpart left. I just go ask Lucy. She's here for 35 years. I asked Lucy. She actually wouldn't let me do some of the things, so I have no clue on how to do some of those things, but I should. So I thought, I'll get a learning experience out of it. I will get someone to be more friendly, because how many of you guys have gone to the in-service and see somebody sitting by themselves? I hate that, right? So I always try to sit by somebody I don't know or introduce myself to involve them, because we need to foster that environment. And yeah, there you go. That's it.
Okay, Dion, introduce yourself.
So I'm Dion Alexander. I teach mathematics here at the college. I'm also the manager of the tutoring center. So I've been here about 12 years now. So kind of what Chris and Mel said, I'm just thrown in the deep end. I mean, I started off as a embedded tutor. So I was kind of watched different instructors teach the math. So I guess they felt that that was my mentoring and or introduction to how to become a teacher and how to teach the material. But other than my being a part of academics, it's a little different with the requirement to become a teacher. So other than what I did with that, I had no experience of getting in front of folks and teaching math. So
And I'm Deanna. Last name's Faherty, but I just tell my students to call me Deanna because that gets butchered really fast. I had 3 deans in 3 years when I first started, and my first dean actively told me not to seek advice from someone who would have been extremely helpful to me. So, I was very not only lost, but feeling like I was going to ruin things if I asked the wrong person. So I love the idea of we all know different stuff. Let's teach each other stuff. I believe that you can learn from your mentee. I believe that whole thing. So I love that we're all avengers of the bad system. We're going to come fix it. Okay, so I can talk too much, Dion, if you don't stop. So that's the deal. This is our overview of the 3 sessions that we have. We're not doing all of this today. We're actually pretty much just going to talk about being a faculty mentor at CPTC, and then we're going to go into next week. We'll look at like these 3: building trust. I don't have a pointer. Understanding mentees' discipline, which we think is big, setting and achieving goals, and then
the following week, 22nd, we'll wrap up with mentoring styles. So we came up with 8 different types of mentoring styles. So everybody kind of lead and follow different ways. We're going to try to match you up with mentees based off those mentoring styles, off a couple of questions, Q&As that we're going to give. Then we have effective communication strategies, frequently asked questions about mentoring, and of course we wrap it up.
Does that sound like fun?
Yay!
Yes.
Yes.
That's actually my big teaching tool. I tell my students that whatever we're doing is fun. I was like, we're doing this fun assignment, we're doing this fun lecture, we're doing this fun movie. So that by the time they leave my class and the question is, how did you like Deanna's class? Everybody says fun. Because they don't have anything in their brain.
That's the word.
Subliminal.
Fun.
Yes.
Fun. That's right.
I'm gonna have to use that. See,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
This is Amazon my tenure page.
I remember the early days of your
Ooh.
early deans.
We were there for all 3 deans. There you go. Yes, so this is all information. I think, like the definition of mentoring. We all kind of talked a little bit about what we didn't want. Does everybody have like concepts of what do they want to be for a mentor? What do they want to see in mentoring?
On my 2nd or 3rd in service, Shelly, was like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Do you need your cell phone number? And it was just like really nice to have somebody who had been in it for a while, and it was just kind of like, is this normal to feel this way? And just having that kind of validation was really nice. So something that I would like to be able to provide.
Validation.
I think some people don't have like the tenure group, right? Because they're not going through the tenure process, but they still need that connection and resource. And they, like you felt, I don't want to ask any questions and get in trouble for it. And we're like that free space, right? That safety space for people to ask questions and see if is this normal, right?
Because being in that space left me not know how to copy documents on this campus for 2 years. Did not know how, did not know who was okay to ask.
But I didn't do a good job on your committee. I said,
well, no, luckily I didn't need my job, I didn't need that many handouts, but I was just like, I would just do them at home. Because I didn't know. So I don't want anyone to feel like that. So yeah, I think the emotional and the practical is really the importance of mentoring.
And I mean, also too, just having someone to talk to just about there's so much that goes on this campus that no one knows about because we're so siloed, right? And I don't think we can change that being at a trade school, but it's just that with everything being so siloed, there's so much information that never gets to folks. Like, oh, you can ask what or go do that where? Like, I never knew about that. Never knew about that.
And Deanna and I talk about this a lot. Like we go to conferences and we learn all these amazing things, and I mean, great teaching techniques or different tools or something, and then we don't have a platform or a place to communicate
Put
that.
all of that stuff like just one big old
It's like
repository of information when folks go to these training sessions. Like, share where do we do the share out so that folks can see this information?
and then do people know? Like we went to the Teach with AI, or I went to the Teach with AI with some people, and then there's an AI Institute this weekend, but then a lot of people don't know about it around here. So it's like, and it's not for the TLC's lack of trying. It's like how we need to be more cohesive, I think, as a group, hopefully. But moving on, any other comments about the awesome
I think that because we are a technical college, we're proficiency based, and people come from industry into teaching. Those are two completely separate things.
Right.
And you can be proficient in what you do in industry, but then to be able to bring it back and convey that to other people. People go to school just to be teachers, and so people are kind of have this expectation to you have to step in the door and be able to impart your wisdom on everybody and know how to do that. That's a separate skill set.
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up because I tell people that all the time. Teaching is a skill.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and some people are gifted at it, out of the gate, but just because you know how to do a thing doesn't mean you know the steps to teach it.
When you're a teacher, it is a practice. Like a doctor has a practice, an attorney has a practice. Is teaching what you do, everything you do, the environment, everything that goes with it, is a practice. And so how do you reflect that? Because you own everything about that.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah, and plus of the not being perfect part.
And I think the tenure folks, they seem to kind of have to go through tenure because there's so much to do and so much, A, B, D. You've got to get all the things, all these trainings done and everything done. They kind of have to go through it in an under siege mentality. Get
Yes.
everything done within that time frame.
Well, and then not to mention not everybody does the tenure process the same way.
Right.
Because the academic faculty doesn't do the skill sets.
Skill sets.
So I think even that is interesting to know about each other. I mean, we have to do other things, but we don't do the A, B, C, D. Which means that if you're on somebody's committee, you need to do research into what that is.
Right.
So either way. First of all, you guys know about the PDU hours, right? You guys are really smart for being in the pilot program because this is probably not going to be how it is next year with it. So you want to spread the word about the bonus credits there. So these are kind of the main bullet points of what it means to mentor at CPTC. You have the PDU credits, you attend the training functions, you go through the Canvas training, and you meet with the mentees. I am going to say that how many of you have done any other Canvas trainings through the TLC or any Canvas? Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's my opinion that this one is not as rigorous.
Right.
That a lot of it is the outside, and then you reflect. So.
197 pages.
197 pages.
197-page reflection.
On the Achieve the Dream document. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I was like, what chapter am I supposed to be reading?
Thank
What
you.
am I focusing on? Because that's all I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
The only reason I made it through AQ was because we were in COVID.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
AQ
This is.
wasn't TLC though.
Yeah.
No, that was just.
That was a lot of work.
But
It was a lot of work.
I did some training. I took a training that was an anti-racism curriculum initiative, and I went into it was a 2-year thing, and I went into it thinking it was going to be a side thing that I was doing, and it was so much work. So I like to give people a heads up of how much this actually, in my opinion, is pretty light in comparison.
Pretty light.
So these are our days. We do need to, these are days that we're meeting, which you already know about because I sent out the meeting notices. You guys need to have a meeting with the TLC for 1 hour. I have a QR code survey if you guys could do that. It just tells you just move it around, or if you just want to like email me what your best day is, but that actually allows me to see everybody's stuff at once. Let's see if my phone works. Let's see if it works out.
So this is for the TLC.
This is for the TLC meeting, yeah.
What?
So that would be with
Font size.
Diane and Kristen. Just go more over the course in Canvas. All of that.
Today's Thursday, so probably not Thursday.
Christopher Felch and Sean Carey both signed up to attend, but they thought it was a Zoom, and they didn't know it was Zoom. And
Oh,
so they have apologized.
okay.
I personally look at it as kind of something full of my son's.
Yes, we are gonna have, we're gonna have this recording for people to watch who couldn't make it, but we opted not to do Zoom for this. I am, one part of the question for this is if you want to do Zoom or not.
Yeah.
So, that is that. But, good?
Good.
Excellent. Okay, so, I'm gonna let you talk, because I talk a lot.
You're doing great. And plus, I don't want to keep blocking the camera.
I like when you block me. All right, so basically each quarter is made up of 2 types of events, right? And part of the reason that the online work is not as crazy as some of the other trainings is because you're expected to do a certain amount of hours live and in person, right? The scheduled events for fall quarter, first of all, did everybody get summer quarter, what we're looking for? These meetings, and then the TLC, and then there's a reflection online. Okay, so fall quarter, there's the new faculty convocation, which is, I think, is it on the,
Opening.
it's opening day,
Opening day.
right?
Yeah.
Friday, it's the Friday.
It's the
before
Friday
school
before
starts.
that Monday the 30th.
Yeah, so I think it's on, I think it's
Because we
on-
started 30th, right?
Yes.
So this is opening day. Usually we come in the morning and then the new faculty is in the afternoon. So that's the first thing, the scheduled event, and then you'll need to do, yes, you'll need to attend that. So you can meet your mentees or connect with your mentees if you have swapped emails or something with them before that, and maybe highlight this is important to remember, type of things in the convocation. So I don't remember what the new faculty convocation was. I'm not even sure they had one.
They did. I've been to it before.
Okay.
We went to the round for Sunday.
Oh,
And
okay.
they had
Yeah.
that little faculty
I did
meeting.
go to that. So yes, it's basically designed to help them meet people and connect. So connect with your mentees there is good. What, you didn't go to one?
No.
I went to one year after I was here.
Yeah, I think I think it was after yes, it wasn't exactly in the earlier part. But I think even in our mentor-mentee program, they had us go to something too.
I'm remembering now that I did go to that, and now I'm remembering because I didn't know where it was, and I was like 15 minutes late or longer. So now I remember, yes. But this won't happen to your people because we'll be on top of it. And anyway, go to the new faculty convocation, and then there's 2 TLC mentor meetings. That's with them, not with us. I don't know if we're joining those or not. I think they said that we could if you guys were so excited by our personalities that you needed to have us in the room for the awesomeness factor to raise. Then
Keep it fun.
yeah, yes, fun.
Fun.
It's all fun. And those we'll schedule, and I think the best way to do this is probably send out a survey closer to the time. I thought about putting a survey in, but I don't know that everybody knows what they're doing for fall.
So you're saying TLC means we come here to meet with our mentee and mentor together?
No,
Or is
No,
that
no, no.
for us to meet with the group that's
Yes.
doing it?
it's up for you to kind of, I just said a strange word. It's meant for you to connect with each other as
Other
mentors and the TLC, which is Learning Center
Gotcha.
across the way.
But I'm pretty sure they're gonna schedule it
Yeah.
somewhere. Where
They'll
you gotta-
schedule it.
Yeah.
And you can definitely put in your preference as to Zoom or in person. And Zoom might make more sense during fall. I don't know. I know some people get Zoom weary. That's actually why we decided to do it in person. We're kind of Zoom weary. My classes this quarter are all online, so it's a lot of me talking to a camera and hoping that my students watch the videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll be 2 of those meetings, an hour each, of just check in. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then individually, October, November, December, you should have mentor check-ins with your mentees, as well as you will be doing observations of your mentees and giving feedback. Okay. Then, of course, you'll have your reflection, which is the homework piece in Canvas.
So, questions, thoughts, queries?
Do you have a specific observation form that you're going to use for mentoring, or is that just a free form?
Do we use the one that's for tenure?
We talked about that.
Yeah,
It's in Canvas.
it's a form in Canvas.
Yeah.
It's the same one that you have for base camp. So it's kind of informal. It's not like serious at all. It's more just to have a good conversation with your mentee.
So you're saying it's in our classroom, Canvas classroom?
It's in theirs and yours. It's in Care Mentor Canvas and the Cornerstones.
And I think fall's the only one that listed having an observation, but fall quarter is the only one that in there was listed as having an observation. But obviously that's up to you and your
You and your
mentees. Some
mentee.
people. I remember when I was teaching at TCC, actually before I came here, I had to ask for somebody to come watch me teach because I needed a letter of recommendation. And I was like, can someone come watch me teach? And they're like, oh, why? I said, well, for all you know, I'm teaching Horton Hears a Who. Could you come out? Oh, we would have heard about that. Like, it's like, okay. So, it might be fun, and this is just the Deanna spin on it. It might be fun to do an observation at the beginning and at the end, but the only one that's actually listed in the Canvas shell is in fall. Look, it looks very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah. So that's the nice thing about this particular training or this particular PDU collection. It's not training. What do we call it? Event?
Professional development.
Professional development? Program. Also program.
Can you go back one slide? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, you went the wrong way. That is all.
Okay. So in fall, we're doing October check-in,
Mm-hmm.
November check-in, and observation.
Mhm.
No November. There's no November check-in.
Oh, that's what it says on the thing. Copy and paste it.
And then, well, they're just combined.
Yeah, that's how I
It's
looked at
one
it. Yeah.
You're meeting with
Yeah.
them.
You're
and
meeting
doing
with
all
them.
It's just
Yeah.
one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So one per month.
Yes. And that's kind of what what we were saying. Like I looked at it like check in, watch them, whatever.
Okay.
It just means watch them and then have a
But then
conversation.
that's not happening in winter.
Looks like winter was only 2.
Yeah.
Why not
No,
January?
nothing in
Just
January.
curious. We can meet with them, obviously, because I'm thinking that I probably want to meet with my person once a month or contact.
These are the requirements, and but that doesn't mean that you're limited to this. You can decide to create let's get together every Tuesday and have coffee if that's your thing, especially if you really hit it off and you want to do that. Or some mentees I imagine are going to be. I'm looking for a word in my brain. Are going to utilize the mentorship more than others.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So that that's going to depend on who your mentee is and how they want to go with it.
We didn't put a January check-in because we used the event, because you're gonna meet them at the
Oh, at the
January
event?
Anyway, so that you don't need, we figured you don't need another.
In January, yeah.
If you want to, go ahead, but like in September, we don't have one in September, because that's the event as well.
Gotcha.
That was the thinking. So smart.
Yes. So here we are here. Okay, so the winter quarter peer mentor event. Diane's here, so she didn't know this. I put to be scheduled because we had on there January 17th, but it said maybe example, so I don't know if that's a set date.
No, there's no set date.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna have to talk to the TLC about.
That's what I thought we should maybe take some thoughts about for that time. And I know it's in the way in the future, but it's the Friday before a 3-day weekend, so I don't know, or a Thursday before.
I just put in random dates.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. So we may want to choose a different.
Yeah.
But that's it. So it's going to be in January, and then we do the peer mentor check-in. What are you guys thinking? Are you thinking you want to meet with them? You want to observe every?
I think it's just gonna depend. I mean, because some instructors are gonna come with already having experience at other colleges.
Yes.
So they're probably gonna just want to be observed 1 or 2 times and just make sure, they're following CPTC
Right.
way type of a deal. You know what I mean? And some people are gonna come fresh, like never taught.
Yeah.
We'll find out a lot the first time.
And like you said, some mentees are gonna see this as they're required to do it, and they just
Yeah.
wanna do the bare minimum, get it done because it's required. Or others are gonna be where do I need to go here, do that. So I think it is definitely gonna be dependent upon our mentee and what their needs are.
Right.
Truthfully.
I agree.
I think we as mentors understand that we might end up getting someone who's really needing a lot of, not hand holding, but interaction. That's why we signed up. So anybody who signs up, they got to know that they could be in it for the haul, or it could be something of, maybe I need to take someone else because this person's just going to be done, right? Unless I'm just here for the PDUs. Just kidding.
Yeah. We already told them how smart they were for picking the pilot year because they could get all the PDUs, and reiterate that goes through, and next year's probably be different, right?
I'm sure.
Okay, so all we had in spring was a May one. Were we doing one before that?
Because April's the event.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're gonna meet them at the event. If you wanna check in with them again during April, go ahead.
And then
June is short.
June is just.
We cut it off because of the PDU cutoff date of May 15th.
Oh,
Right.
there we
Yes.
Smart, that's why.
Bureaucracy and
Yeah,
timelines.
it's
That
Yes.
makes sense. Yes.
Is it after every check-in we do a reflection of the check-in, or just at the end of the quarter we do
Well,
a reflection?
Our next step is to go in and look at the
Yeah.
canvas
Right,
shell.
look at the
if you
canvas
if you wanna
shell.
do that. Yes.
What was involved in the TLC meeting?
That is, as far as I know, that's the TLC people. I knew I was going to get this question, and I'm like that's checking in the morning. I was looking at Dion and I are like the cheerleaders
Yeah.
to kind of guide you on your way, and then
Oh, they're
the
gonna
TLC
speak
is
out
kind of
now.
like the referees to make sure that you're staying within the boundaries. Would that be accurate?
Well, so the Teaching and Learning Center with Kristen and Jeff and Ronald and Carrie, they're like the permanent people there. They're gonna help y'all plan those events, like the opening day orientation event. Like, you all might start the planning, but I'm sure Kristen is gonna want to know what's going on and have input from her group. So that has to be sort of collaborative. And that's also gonna happen for the January one and the April one. And so also her team is like the support to y'all, because if you don't know something with Canvas or with the tech or whatever, that's what they do. And so being able to check with them twice a quarter just to see how it's going for everybody was the goal.
And the other thing that they're fabulous at is like, say your mentee brought a situation to you that, which is kind of it's just building up what you're saying. Like they're saying, oh, I want to insert, this technology into my class. What I don't know, and you're like, I don't know how to do that. I haven't done this particular type of technology or haven't done this. Then the TLC meetings would be a place to bring that up. So I think a good thing would be like maybe take notes on questions that they have and then meet with the TLC. When you're meeting with the TLC, bring those up. So
The TLC meetings though will be scheduled for all of us.
yes,
Including no mentees.
no, just mentors.
Yeah, just mentors.
I'm not sure if we're going, but definitely
But you're not.
and us.
Y'all are in charge.
You're number 14. You guys gotta be there to support.
And us.
Oh, okay.
All right, so looking.
Well, but they need to know what the mentees need. So if you're
So go in.
Modules?
That's fine.
That's why they're not playing.
Can we post the observation form in our mentor thing? I know you said it's in the cornerstones,
I was trying to see if it's
but
in.
for quick reference, can we put something like,
I-
resource document? Is it in there?
I think it's in
I think
there.
it's in here under.
Observation. That would make sense.
Yeah, there's the form.
That's the form right
that's
there.
the form.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Use this form. Excellent. Let's take
You're so smart. I stole all of Ronald's stuff.
You know what they say.
Using that.
They say that good writers are borrow and great writers steal. There you go. So yes.
Did all of that, right?
Everybody did the survey already, and it wasn't worth any points anyway, but just for reference. Well, yeah. So don't do it again. You already did it.
I did it twice actually.
I was almost gonna do. I started going.
Yeah.
I did this already,
Yeah,
so I stopped.
yeah. I was like, well, at least put this out in an email, but now it's here. Is it a different one? I just
No,
Googled this again.
I could just unpublish it, I guess.
Julie said she did hers and someone's starting new and she would like to be their mentor because they're in her department.
Have you matched people yet?
I was just saying like what people were using it for. It just kind of already started saying like, hey, I already seen somebody that I can see would like to mentor just because of our commonalities.
Yeah, Dion and I have to set up a meeting to
Yeah,
match people.
match people. That's next.
It's called having a hat. Maybe not, but
Spin the wheel.
I'm game.
No, not like a sorting hat. I just went to like Harry Potter.
Sorting hat. Yeah, there you go. It's a little bit like a sorting hat.
You put them into categories and then you
But I'm actually super excited about this shell because it's also like I'm doing all this stuff out in the real world, and then you come in and you just think about it out loud while you're thinking, on paper. So.
And again, it's like compared to some of the other trainings,
Oh, yeah.
when you just look at what you have to do for fall, there's only a couple of assignments, and they're all just reflecting.
It's just a document that you met with them. It's just a document you showed up. That's all.
Questions, queries,
Questions.
comments.
Excitement
about it.
Do we have something to do with this order?
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
scroll back
Yeah.
up towards the order?
I have to say, on that document, it is really long. So I was trying to find the section on the different strategies,
I gotcha.
and I couldn't find the section. I actually went through quite a bit. I read through quite a
Oh,
bit.
the toolkit chapters or the
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And it said the question was, read the different avenues,
Mhm.
tools, or whatever, and then see which one you think that you would like to use.
Well, also I see
couldn't
that
find
as
it in there.
Is it an assignment or is it? Yeah.
And the toolkit had that document, so I was looking in there, and I literally I did read
Yeah.
like the first 20 pages.
Is it
30,
in
I ran out of time. Like, this takes forever. I have to figure out where it's at.
I couldn't.
Yeah, no, it said to
It's
read
good.
chapter
It's
3.
Yeah.
And so then I went to the index and figured out where chapter 3 was and scrolled all the way down to that.
Okay.
and then there's
Community
like 8
for learners,
strategies.
66. I didn't get paid to 66 yet.
Yeah, and some of this is going to be wrapped into, and we're going to talk more about the actual reading part and when we talk about mentorship styles. Because a lot of that's in there. So that's in our
And then it
third.
wasn't even an assignment, so once I realized it wasn't an assignment.
We just moved it on along.
Well, it's
No,
a
I-
reflection, isn't
yeah.
it? Is it a reflection?
I reflected.
Okay, so just to be, you're recording this. Just to be transparent, like we have to put stuff into the learn because this is professional
Right.
development.
Right.
We didn't
Okay.
attach assignments to that because the hours were already accounted for. We already had 26 hours approved, so I didn't want to add read chapter 3 and then do an assignment for 0 hours.
But like I said, we'll go. It's one of the things we're going to go over.
Yeah.
And so that way you can add to the conversation. More
So like this
excitedly.
one has these good practice principles. We're looking at all of those and then deciding which one we relate to or which one we want to put into that
We're
we're
gonna
thinking
do that
about.
in a meeting.
Yeah, on the meeting, the third meeting, Deanna and I looked at like actually mentorship styles, which is different.
Than that.
A little different.
So we need to
The cool
reflect.
kids would call that same thing in a different font. Right?
But for this, for summer, we need to kind of look and
Yeah.
pick and choose and kind of see what we relate to, and then
Right.
say, I think I want to try this.
But yeah, so that, and then coming to the other two meetings, which are next week and the week after here, bring your friends.
And then you just, like on M1, attend the in-person, these 3 meetings after you've attended the 3 or watched the 3 videos. Just go in there and complete the reflection and then you'll get the 3 hours credit.
Gotcha.
If you don't do the reflection, even if you were here, you're probably not gonna get the credit because everything's getting badged in Canvas.
So and when
Get
and
your
that's
badge.
due at the end of the quarter, so probably one of us will send out an email that says, "Hey, don't forget to do the reflection," just to make sure you don't miss the date. Okay, so we this meeting is only 45 minutes because we have to give up the room.
Yeah.
So Deanna and I are actually gonna. We have I have like another survey thing for you to put in comments or concerns, or well no, I actually didn't say concerns, so you can't have any concerns. I just said comments and questions. Okay. But do you have any you want to shout out or?
So I can't come to the one on the 22nd because I'm doing a volunteer event.
Okay.
I just watch the recording.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or is
I mean-
it gonna be housed?
We're gonna put it in the shell. I didn't ask. I just said that's what we're gonna
Yeah,
do.
that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, we're just gonna put it in the shell like first recording. I don't think it's as awesome as in person. Obviously, I'm hoping that it all sounds okay. But we're also gonna upload the full PowerPoint at the end. But I don't want to do that until we're done with all 3 meetings because we just made one long presentation, and next time I'm gonna make Dion talk more. So.
Dion's been talking plenty.
Okay. But if you have any, I did have this just an area where you can type in some clandestine and anonymous. This is what I think that we need to cover.
Did you hear that? How cute you look in your outfit.
Yeah, things like that. I'm off of that.
So did you have a paper that you wanted to give us today? No? For comments? That's our comments.
That's comments. Or you can just email me. I think our emails are in the bios there.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
that hopefully we know how to get to
Or you could just, the fun thing about us is actually, you just type Dion and both of us will pop up.
Yes.
So it works really well for you guys, and you can just pick whoever you want to send one to. Or you do both. So it's funny because for me, he only pops up, but it assumes I don't want to email myself. But I imagine for both of you, we both show up. Yes. All right. So is there anything specific you guys want covered
Oh yeah.
as we move forward? Like anything you want us to cover in the upcoming trainings? Anything you don't want to talk about?
Well, I don't even know if it's in there, but I know that for a new faculty, and I know that there's somewhere there was some training on putting in grades and how to put an ad drop or approval to register. I know that my people didn't know how to do that. They didn't know about the link, you know, the forms and all of that. Like just admin kind of stuff.
Do you think that that's something that would be beneficial to go over in the training, like to train the trainers, or does everybody know that?
Maybe do a survey, possibly send out a survey to the mentors
See if there's any holes
about
in what people know.
topics. I don't know how to fill out a purchase order. Lucy did every single one of them. I mean, I think I could figure it out for supplies, but I mean, I'm accounting. I know how to fill a form out, but you know, the process.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out things that I have really not had.
That's a good point, though.
Imagine that we're more of like a resource to send them to other people. Because like if somebody's coming to me and asking about a purchase request, I'm gonna say see Bijou or see, right?
I still have to know how to do it to tell them how to do it,
But no, I actually agree with that being where to send people because we want to go back on the whole. You know, we all started without much direction. I had no idea.
Well, like your copier example,
Yeah.
right? How do you get access to a faculty printer? You know,
Make
and
copies at
like
home.
ours isn't color printer, so how do you get?
I
Make
printed
copies
it
at
at
home.
home. Printed
I
and
don't
made
have a
copies
printer at
for
home.
years.
Send it to Deanna. Send it
Like our building has one. We have a
Yeah.
faculty printer. You know, how do you get access to get signed up for that? You know, just stuff like that. But if you
Isn't that
refer to
also
the right people,
Cornerstone? The Cornerstones?
It should be.
Should be.
Some of it, yeah. But I do think what we're pointing out is it's probably good to ask your mentee what they need to know.
Right.
Right? Like maybe come with a sheet of these are the practical things that stump people.
Yeah.
What are these that you're concerned about knowing? Because I think sometimes you don't even know what you don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's my biggest problem when I
Yeah.
started. Was
Yeah.
I didn't even know what questions to ask. I didn't know what I was missing.
Yeah.
the other thing is that new policy came out not too long ago about the grading, where in the system you got, you know, X amount of days to actually vanish, and then you don't vanish, and at the end you have to put a V in, and you have to do it to be compliant with the financial aid and all that kind of stuff. And so there's just so many new little nuances.
Yeah, and that's another thing that if your mentee is coming from another college, they're already, because I came from TCC and was shocked you guys weren't doing that already.
Right.
Because that's how we did that over there years ago.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. For me, I was ecstatic when it moved back to what I was familiar with. But for other people, if they're brand new, it may not be as intuitive. So I think that's a good thing for us to include in training later, like make sure to ask them what they don't know.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
I think you should say like 10 minutes before start planning the opening day event.
Okay.
At least